Thank you.
To me, it's more promoting healthy living.
Promoting healthy living. Thank you so much.
Ensuring that healthcare services are accessible for all Oakland residents, even those who are undocumented.
I would say encourage more walking trips on safe and accessible streets and sidewalks.
And their environment would be cleanliness and beautification of the neighborhood.
Okay.
I'd say healthy eating and exercise, and then for, I guess, the environment, public utility efficiency.
Okay. So for healthy eating, you want to increase access to healthy foods?
Right.
When we talk about action steps, even, when we're talking about increasing walking, some of our action steps could include adding more community gardens. Okay, so I want you to look at it that way so that when you're figuring out what your priorities are, you can also think about, well, what's going to contribute to that priority? How can I link this thing to the other, and what's the actual action step? Because I think you guys were discussing a lot of actual action steps and that are in there that could be under some big headings. So I think you can all get kind of what your priorities are if we are strategic about the overall priorities that you set. So we're going to get them in our action steps, and I think that's the most exciting part. How do we make these things happen?
So now we already had a senior center that was very culturally rich, but now we have the LGBT culture that is recognized as another culture, and they are integrating. So more of our seniors feel safe in going to computer classes and yoga and tax classes through that center, and the center actually reaches out to us when they want gay, lesbian, transgender advisory people on their board. So all of those steps have taken years and years to kind of chip away at it.
I'm hoping to get programs, because of the bad cuts, to co-locate in our senior centers, so there'll always be some staff from someone. So I'm not sure how it's going to work out yet, but I'm pretty confident in North Oakland we'll be able to keep open 5 days because of the children. I talked to the Children's Hospital CEO because they shared the building with us, and he's made that commitment.
Great.
Maybe it would be great, and they were talking about the senior centers in North Oakland, particularly having programming for the LGBT seniors throughout Oakland. So maybe it would be a good idea, the mayor could probably attend one of the luncheons and you guys could invite her.
About 20 years ago, we had 2 parcel taxes done on the land. And they were supposed
For
to
the
go
schools?
No, they were supposed to go to the police department. And what
No,
happened?
I don't think so.
One was $80 and one was $90, I believe. And they were supposed to go to the police department.
I don't think so. I think there's a bonding for the retirement program in the 70s.
This was, I think, the 80s or 90s that it was done. I have to look back and research, but anyway, what I remember of. And what happened is that money was put into the general fund and not into the police fund to finance.
Well, the police is now 48% of the general fund.
Mm-hmm.
It is eating up everybody else.
Yes, yeah.
The fire and the police. I don't think that's right. I think what you're talking about is that they did do a bond for PFERS, which was the 1955 police pension fund that was never adequately funded. And so they tried to fix it in late 50s, and they tried to fix it again in the late 70s. And even now, I am having a debate with Mr. De LaFuente on how to fix it for this time.
Okay.
So I think it was for the pension. It wasn't actually for the police. What we did pay for is Measure Y, which added, at that time, 63 beat officers. And that got us up for the first time in history to 803. We had been running around upper 600s for most of the last 2 decades in terms of number of officers. And so we're now in sort of high, mid 600s.
Okay,
So-
okay.
so-
Yeah, because I remember those 2 that we got.
And I think you're right, it was not, but it was their pension fund. It wasn't actually for police.
Okay.
It was
yeah.
the pension fund things.
And I remember that 2 of them that went, and somehow I don't exactly remember because it was so many years ago. The 2 of them that.
But
we
that
got
one
and
did,
then
but
we
that
got
one didn't
another
go to
one.
the general fund either. You may be talking about the LAD. So let me explain the LAD, landscape and lighting. After Prop 13, there wasn't enough money to pay for the growing fire and police costs. So what they did is they moved all of the park maintenance outside of the budget and had what's called a landscape and lighting district, which so that the police could be a bigger percentage of the budget. So in the 60s, the police and fire together were only about 50% of the
That could have
budget,
been it, yes.
right? And what they did is they moved it out, and so yes, what happened is, so they're telling me we have to cut parks maintenance in half, and I said, well, why is this? And they said, well, because the landscape and lighting district that was set up in the 90s has never had a cost of living increase. And so what's happened is now the police are eating up all the other services because the pensions are out of control, right? And so now this is the highest percentage it's ever been at 74%. And if I make all these other cuts, we'll probably percentage-wise go to 75% of the budget because everything else is just getting cut.
I'm the problem-solving officer for Beat 21Y, and what I'm here to do is to listen to you, to hear what your concerns are regarding your beat and the area where you live.
My name's Joel Elworth. I'm a problem-solving officer for Beat 20 X-Ray with Oscar Abaque. Things that we work on as problem-solving officers, things that are problems that are reoccurring. We work a lot with blight issues, neighborhood issues involving narcotics, drug sales, and we work a lot in tune with landlords and their properties as well.
My name is Allison Siegel Sanchez. I live on 27th Avenue, and real basically, I don't drive. A lot of people have different kind of perspective. I walk every day, my daily walk along International, and I'd like to be able to walk and not feel afraid.
See, I urge everyone, go to your NCPC meetings. If you want to meet these great officers, George Pereira over here, we talk to him all the time. He does a great job in our community. These officers are our officers, okay? They're not the enemy. We need to work with them. And the fact is we need the gang injunction to free up these guys from dealing with these street thugs so that they can concentrate on serious crime. We need the gang injunction to indicate to businesses that it's safe to come to Oakland, that we take public safety seriously. And we need the gang injunction so that people here are no longer afraid to report crime, because that's what's going on here. People support the gang injunction, please.
I would like to request again that it be put on the agenda of citizens' reluctance to report. I think it's a problem. It's a problem that could be addressed. It's not just addressed by referring people to the local officers. People don't do it for a lot of reasons, and I think it should be addressed.
Okay, so reporting crime, fear of reporting crime.
Not just fear, reluctance.
Reluctance.
Sometimes it hasn't to do with fear.
Jason.
I'm Jason Victor Serenas, and I have two things. Personal safety. I'm going to be 66 years old. I walk home 3 blocks from my car at 11:30 at night. So I try to use my New York smarts. But the other thing, and this is more global, is the crazy situation that we've been put in now, where basically we have to have 3 priorities. 3 priorities of everything that's been said. And I can't think of anything that's been said here that is not valid. Yet, we're kind of like vying for each other as to which one is most important. It's an untenable situation to me. And the roots of it, I think, have to be addressed.
But you will see us in your guys' community. We get information to the city of Oakland and some of the hottest areas on their beat. And we try to help them out with just resources for some of the youth that's out there hanging around in the streets selling drugs, gang banging, whatever it is that they're doing. We don't go out there doing the police's job. We go out there basically handing them resources to say, man, get off this corner. We got something that's better than this drug selling or just hanging out late or the drinking and which everybody knows drinking eventually leads to violence in most cases. So we're out there doing that. If you guys see us, wave, let us, wave, honk the horns, you guys are present. But know that if you guys do see us in the area, that area is a targeted area that OPD and the city of Oakland wants us to focus on those areas. So when you guys see us, let us know.
Maybe write some poetry, get some counseling, hang out with friends, get some free snacks, things like that.
So more after-school opportunities and local business support for those after-school opportunities?
Of no cost to the parents.
Of no cost, so free. Local after-school programs with local business support.
Truancy. Okay, great. That was concise. Thank you.
A low graduation rate of minorities, particularly Latinos and African Americans. So high expectations for education for all.
And one of the biggest problems we have in Crece, our organization, to keep the kids, busy, is the fees that the recs charge. It's hard for me to find parks for them to play soccer games. Negotiating with them to see if maybe they could drop the prices a little bit more to make it easier. Like she said, having, getting sponsors together involved to support that, or, right now I'm actually organizing events, raffles to get money to pay the fees that the recs charge.
So your concern essentially is that there are high fees at the recreational centers. High fees at recreational
Especially
centers.
for families that are low income.
Right. Okay.
It would be good to have rehabilitation programs also for youth, for those who are dealing with any sort of mental disabilities or any sort of drug and alcohol problems.
Like going off what she said, having Fuente centers, but where they could have all those programs available, because there's, as we've seen, there's not a lot of places that the youth can go where they can get help, like for mental programs, counseling, after school mentoring, and things like that.
Obviously, it's jobs. They want a job. But when we mention the jobs, they don't even know how to sign or to apply. They don't know how to sign the application. So, that gives us another job in being able to help out. But I was thinking of maybe a center that helps a child or a youngster learn how to apply for a job. When we put them up, I take them to staff checks agencies to sign up, and they're like, oh, you got to do it on the internet. The youngsters that I work with or I engage upon don't know how to use it, and so when I bring them there, I have to lay that out. But I was thinking of maybe, a center that just to learn how to apply for a job.
I'm Fred Morris. I work for Parks and Recreation, and we do that as well. And youth soccer is free. I want to piggyback on what she's saying. The trades, which have the business that come into Oakland, hire youth which are older, 16 to 25-year-olds, hire them, take them out the group. So it wouldn't cost us anything. It wouldn't go into our $46 million. But that business, your job is to hire X amount of youth to build this construction company now, or a new barbershop, support our financial, give financial aid to some barbers from 16 to 25. So the local business that's coming in to help put some money back into the youth programs.
So we're getting graduates with, potential to earn a living wage and do work in, web design, digital arts, audio stuff, things that fashion, things that really connects to the interest of what we're seeing and some of the trend-setting activities that our young people are participating in already. Now let's make them entrepreneurs and be able to build livable wages around them.
I don't know how to say this without sounding mean, but
no sé cómo decirlo sin sonar mal.
We'll try to help you. What your priority is.
Well, if this group was named immigration, which I think is a very important subject, and I'm totally behind what everyone is saying. But when you say social justice, as I said earlier, it is a broader subject, and I am concerned about justice for those who have no voice, which includes immigrants.
This is something that we're seeing in a lot of different places, like in terms of housing. Her mother just went to get housing, and they asked for them to turn in a social security number for everyone who was going to be living in that house in order for them to rent it. So this is not a sanctuary city where there's no sort of protection for that kind of thing. And also when you have spaces like the Fruitvale that are specific targets for the DUI checkpoints. I don't understand why we have 3 DUI checkpoints in District 5 and you don't go anywhere else in the city and see DUI checkpoints. Those are targeted towards undocumented community, towards the migrant community here in the Fruitvale.